January 13, 2006. 300 Argentine police officers have surrounded the Banco Rio branch in Acasuso, an upscale suburb of Buenos Aires. Outside, the summer heat is stifling. Inside, 23 hostages are huddled on the floor, terrified, while men in masks wave pistols and shout commands. One wrong move, and this looks like it will become a massacre. The leader of the gang makes a bizarre request. He demands pizza. The police negotiator thinks he is dealing with an amateur or a madman. But he is wrong. While every camera and sniper in Buenos Aires is focused on the front door, a second crew is already deep beneath their feet in the vault. They are systematically emptying safe deposit boxes, stuffing $19 million worth of cash, gold, and jewels into duffel bags. The hostage crisis above is pure theater. The guns are replicas. The threats are part of a script. The real heist is happening in the darkness of the sewers, and it has been in motion for years. In a few minutes, these thieves will disappear from a bank that is completely surrounded by elite tactical teams. They will leave behind a group of unharmed hostages, a humiliated police force, and a polite note taped to the wall that reads, "In a neighborhood of rich people, without weapons or grudges, it is just money, not love." The country will soon call them heroes, but the perfect crime has a fatal flaw. One of these men is about to lose everything, betrayed by the person he should have trusted most. The story begins in December 2003. Fernando Araujo, a martial arts instructor and bohemian artist, is sitting in his apartment in Buenos Aires, obsessed with a news clip of a failed robbery from 1999. In that incident, police stormed a bank and killed 2 hostages on live television. Araujo sees an opportunity in those tragic images. He sketches a plan on a napkin. What if robbers could disappear from inside a locked bank without ever using the front door? Not through luck, but through magic. He calls his old-school friend Sebastian Garcia Bolster. Bolster is a talented mechanic who spends his days fixing motorcycles in a garage. He is a man of precision and logic. His family had lost 80,000 pesos when the Argentine banks collapsed in 2001. Their life savings evaporated overnight by government decree. When Araujo proposes robbing Banco Rio, Bolster does not laugh. He asks how. Araujo brings blueprints. He has discovered that the Banco Rio in Acasuso sits directly above a massive network of storm drains that connect to the Rio de la Plata. The vault itself extends into the basement. The plan is gargantuan. While one team creates a diversion with a hostage situation on the main floor, another team will tunnel into the vault from the sewers. No violence, no casualties, just a feat of engineering on an incoherent scale. Bolster becomes the engineer. He calculates that they need to tunnel 150 meters through the storm drains, breach 2 meters of reinforced concrete, and do it all without being detected by seismic sensors. It is a mission impossible for anyone else, but Bolster has spent his life making things work. They choose this specific bank for a reason. After the banking collapse, the middle class stopped trusting electronic accounts. Instead, they packed private safe deposit boxes with untraceable assets, stacks of dollars, bars of gold, and bags of diamonds. Araujo writes the operation like a screenplay, complete with dialogue and stage directions. The gang members will be actors. Every phone call to the police, every demand for food is designed to buy time for the crew in the basement. He calculates they need exactly 2 hours and 7 minutes to empty enough boxes. 1 second too short, and they leave money behind. 1 second too long, and the police might storm the building. The margin for error is 0. In June 2004, they begin recruiting the rest of the team. Ruben Beto de la Torre is a veteran of the Superbanda, a notorious gang that robbed 17 banks in the 1980s. He knows the layouts of vaults, the psychology of police response, and how to handle a crowd. Beto agrees on one condition. He brings his own partner, Luis Mario Vitet. Known as the Uruguayan, Vitet is a specialist in intimidation without violence. Vitet studies Araujo's script with obsessive detail. He insists that the fake weapons have weight, so they look real. They add Alberto Doc Solis, another veteran who spent 8 years in prison. Doc spends 3 months photographing every angle of the bank. He identifies the window of opportunity on a Friday afternoon between 12:30 and 3:30. Finally, they recruit Julian Zalo Echeverria as the getaway driver. He will wait at a manhole cover 3 blocks away with a van modified to extract the team. In September 2005, Bolster begins his reconnaissance in the sewers. He enters the storm drains at 2 in the morning, wading through knee-deep sewage and methane gas. The main vault sits directly beneath the bank, separated by 24 inches of reinforced concrete. He needs specialized equipment, a pneumatic hammer that operates silently, industrial-grade jacks, and reinforced lumber. The total shopping list comes to 50,000 pesos, about $5,000. By December 2005, the tunnel is nearly complete. 6 men meet in an abandoned house to rehearse. Araujo makes them memorize their lines like Shakespearean actors. On December 20th, Bolster breaks through the final inch of concrete. He has created a hole just wide enough for a man to squeeze through. The tunnel is ready. They synchronize their watches. The weather forecast for January 13th is clear skies and a temperature of 87 degrees Fahrenheit. January 13th, 2006, 12:28 in the afternoon. Bolster enters the storm drain carrying an underwater sledgehammer. Behind him, Beto and Doc wade through the sewage. They reach the vault. Above them, 23 customers are conducting normal Friday business. 3 minutes later, Vitet, Araujo, and Doc walk through the front door dressed in expensive business suits. Vitet pulls his replica pistol. "Nobody move, this is a robbery." His voice carries a military authority that freezes the room. Araujo locks the front door. Within 90 seconds, they control the bank. By 12:45, the police receive the first call. By 1:15, 300 officers surround the building. Inside, Vitet, playing the character Walter, begins his performance. He calls the police and sounds reasonable, almost apologetic. He releases a bank teller to show good faith. Negotiators think they are winning, but in the vault below, the pneumatic ram is destroying safe deposit boxes. Box 73 explodes in a shower of euros. Box 91 contains gold coins from 1892. Box 156 holds bearer bonds worth $2 million. They stuff everything into waterproof duffel bags. At 2:47 in the afternoon, Walter makes his famous pizza demand. The police commissioner laughs, thinking these criminals are amateurs. He approves the order. At 3:05, delivery drivers approach. The hostages eat nervously. At 3:27, Bolster's team has cracked 143 boxes. They have $19 million in mixed currencies, gold, and jewels. It is time to go. Bolster tapes the note to the wall. They lower themselves through the hole into the tunnel. Above, Vitet tells his final lie. "We are coming out in 5 minutes." The team loads the bags onto an inflatable raft and paddles through the sewage in total darkness. 3 blocks away, Zalo Echeverria is waiting at manhole 47B. One by one, they emerge soaked, stinking, and victorious. They pile into the van and disappear into traffic at 3:33 in the afternoon. Inside the bank, the hostages are locked in a room. The toy guns are left in a neat row by the door. 4 hours later, at 7:45 in the evening, SWAT teams finally storm the bank. They find the hostages unharmed. They find the toy guns, they find the warm pizza boxes. But they find no robbers. The subjects have vanished. The story dominates the news. Argentines view the robbers as folk heroes. International media calls it brilliantly audacious. Police launch the largest manhunt in history, but they find nothing. No DNA, no fingerprints, no leads. But in a modest house in Buenos Aires province, Alicia Di Tullio is watching her husband, Beto de la Torre, count stacks of bills. She knows where the money came from. What she doesn't know is that Beto is planning to leave her for a 23-year-old woman. Alicia discovers the affair through text messages. Enraged, she walks into federal police headquarters. She provides names. She describes the planning meetings in her kitchen. On March 7, 2006, pre-dawn raids strike across the city. Police find Beto sleeping next to nearly $1 million in cash. Within hours, the entire gang is in custody. The public is disappointed by the arrest. Polls show that 68% of Argentines wanted the gang to remain free. At the trial, Araujo treats the courtroom like a stage, explaining the heist as a work of creative resistance. Bolster explains the engineering with the precision of a professor. They do not deny their guilt, they deny their shame. The missing $17 million is never found. Safe deposit boxes were not registered, so the bank could not prove exactly how much was stolen. The sentences range from 9 to 15 years. By 2020, every member of the gang is a free man. Fernando Araujo wrote a book and sold the movie rights. He claims that in the end, everyone won. The police got fame, the public got entertainment, and the thieves got rich. Only Beto lost everything: his family, his share of the money, and the respect of his crew. The Banco Rio heist remains the greatest magic trick in criminal history. In the end, it wasn't 300 police who caught the magicians. It was a woman's revenge for a broken promise. Alicia Di Tullio accomplished what an entire government could not. She made the magicians disappear.